told them they was going to come after me. They was going to cancel me. They was going to say terrible things about me and try to mess my life up. I know I'm going into the belly of the beast. How could I be naive? I know that I'm going into Satan's playground, but I'm trying to be so good that you got to bring me in so close that I can see who's doing what and what's going on in there. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Katt Williams was recently on the Shannon Sharpe show, the Club Shay Shay show, and he had a lot of things to say. It was a lot of bombs that were dropped on that show. I can't say truth bombs because I don't have a way of corroborating the story. So allegedly all these things were said, and in no particular order, because the show was really long. It was like almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes to be exact. So I can't put the whole thing on there. Number one, for copyrights. Number two, it's too long. So I will leave the link in the description below in case you guys are interested. But I'm going to show you a few clips and then we'll talk about them. So here is the first one.
Because the people want to know, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets.
Oh my gosh, I wonder who else's secrets he's holding on to out there, because there's a lot of people that are like A-listers in Hollywood that didn't get there because of their talents. They're in somebody's pockets, and a lot of people know a lot about other people in Hollywood. So I wonder who else Katt knows things about. On to the next clip.
That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told him, don't have an actor at playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan, to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
So apparently there was a lot of beef in the comedian world, and what he's referring to in that clip is that he did a movie and forgot the name of the movie, and Ricky Smiley decided that he was going to come on that same show, and which is the whole reason why Katt did that show to begin with, is because Ricky Smiley was on that show and he told a whole bunch of stuff that weren't true, and Katt wanted to come and set the record straight because he didn't like none of the stuff that was said. So Ricky Smiley said that that part that Katt Williams had in that movie was supposed to be his part or something like that, and Katt just didn't really like that because apparently he had done a lot of work for the part. But that is crazy. That is crazy. Oh, there's more tea. Hold on. Next clip.
This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man.
I am baffled. If that is true, we have been bamboozled, because Steve Harvey ran with that I was homeless, I used to be homeless story. Now, when people like Steve Harvey or Tyler Perry, would say that they were homeless, I always thought like, okay, it's LA. LA's expensive. You gotta get headshots. You have to have money to like put gas in your car to go from audition to audition. They couldn't afford to get like a whole apartment for themselves or whatever, and that's why they ended up sleeping in their car so that they could save that money to do other things. And then the whole wife thing, they do, almost all of them do have like some sort of a light-skinned wife. Steve Harvey, Steve Harvey said the same thing about the first wife. And then you went and marry somebody else that thinks like a man. Oh my gosh, I can't. That was too funny. But on to the next one.
He said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. He already had his deals when he got here. What do you think a plant is? He shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It did happen.
Yeah, that one was also another shocker because it made sense, Because Kevin came out how Kevin came out. Soul Plane was when I first found out about Kevin. I didn't know anything about Kevin before that. Now, all these people, from what I've noticed in comedy and based on what Katt Williams was saying, you start out in comedy, you make a name for yourself in comedy, then you can, have other things come your way. But Kevin did start out with that Soul Plane, situation. And according to Katt Williams, allegedly Kevin hadn't done anything to establish himself in a position to get Soul Plane. And also, someone had a conversation with me a while back about like plants in Hollywood. Like people were planted in Hollywood for like specific purpose. And I was like, I thought it didn't make sense, but now that he said it, I'm like, there are plants in Hollywood. Like people were just grabbed and planted there for different reasons. And if allegedly that is how Kevin's story went, then Kevin is literally a plant, because that boy blew up out of nowhere. But I above my pay grade, I'm just gonna have to take Katt's word for it. But that's crazy. That is crazy. Hollywood is a weird place, and just when I thought it couldn't get any weirder, he went in. Next clip.
You not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years?
Oh my gosh, when he said that, I felt that. This man he's never been afraid of anything, for real. He's always spoken his mind. He's always spoken the truth as he knows it to be. But that was a very powerful statement. And with Gary Owens, I always thought, okay, so I don't watch comedy like that. So I always was like, I don't know, is Gary Owens funny? Because I feel like he's not that big he's not a household name. You get what I'm saying? And so I always thought, maybe he's not that funny. He's underrated. Maybe maybe that's where he's supposed to be, because he's not that funny. But what if it's because he does not want to? What if it's because he's not a plant? What if it's because allegedly he does not want to sell his soul like allegedly them other ones are doing, and that's why they're making it? So many questions. I have so many questions, but he had more bombs to drop. Listen to this next one.
So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get
I told him no. What y'all do?
Yo. He offered to do what? Wait, what? Okay, so I thought Hollywood was weird, but to that extent, people just walking up to you and offering to suck your situation in front of other people, and that's normal? This is why this man has been canceled so many times. He must be telling the truth. Weinstein allegedly did what? That's why I say all the time, I don't want anything to do with Hollyweird. This is way too much. Just when I thought I couldn't be any more shocked, he had more coming. Listen to this.
When I walk in a room, heads go down. The king has walked in and they have to respect it, only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he has 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows.
It takes some people a very long time to make it into Hollywood, and sometimes they work so hard and they still don't get recognition, or their pay still doesn't go up, but they still continue to work where they feel comfortable and not taking shortcut. It's very hard to not take shortcut in Hollywood, because sometimes you're looking at people that you're more talented than them, and you work a lot harder than them, and you put a lot more time in your craft, and you watch them get the thing that you feel as though you should get, but you don't know what deal they're cutting, and it sucks. You know what I mean? But if you're in Hollywood and you're not taking shortcuts, good for you, because at the end of the day, it is not worth it. And I also think you get to keep your respect. That's what he was saying when he walks in a room, even though he's not like, as gigantic as some of these people, but when he walks in a room, he does have respect knowing that he's not playing the game how they play the game, allegedly. So, on to the next clip.
My goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin asshole. And I never had sucked ass. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. Come on, Katt.
That had me dying on the floor. But on a serious note, though, you know, he's not the first one to say that about the booty situation. There's this guy, the guy that played Pookie from like in the game. He said something about him not being like hella famous or him not being a household name because he wasn't willing to have people poke him in the booty and for him to like suck people's, you know, hot dogs and things like that. So that is a thing. Oh my gosh, there's so many weird things. It's too much. I can't. But you do have to want to preserve your situation when going in there because the offers will be coming your way. I'm not saying that it's true in all cases, but if you look at it, Steve Harvey, his first wife, did not look like that when he was struggling, and he got with Marjorie, the light-skinned one, and boom, Kevin Hart. When Kevin Hart was married to Tori Hart, nobody knew a whole lot about Tori and Kevin. And then until their thing started derailing, and then he got with, again, the light-skinned one, and boom, Jonathan Majors. Same thing. That girl might have been planted there just for them to take him down, allegedly, because, you know, they did what they did, and now it was time for him to go, and they needed him to go because the charges did not make sense for him to have been found guilty. But I digress. All right, let's move on to the next clip.
Until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
So what he was talking about there was that Dave Chappelle turned down $50 million, and people were just acting like Dave Chappelle just turned down $50 million. It was just the circumstances weren't right for Dave Chappelle to accept said $50 million. Like the stuff in the contract did not align with his morals and his principles. So he did not want to go that route, and that's why he turned down the $50 million. And why, Didi? Why? Why did your name have to come up in there? I wonder what Katt did not want to do all 4 times that he turned down $50 million. That's $200 million. That's a lot of money. I would like to know what it is that he did not want to do for Didi or with Didi. He's like, Didi just be wanting to party and you gotta say no. I wonder what he said no for. That's crazy. No, thank you, Hollywood. I am good. Next clip.
You see the situation with Jonathan Majors. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if maybe he can bounce back in a couple of years.
Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Katt Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right? First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking bro. Mm-hmm. Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When?
Yeah, I always thought that thing with Jonathan Majors was so weird because it didn't make sense. And even like when more footage was released, you could clearly see he shouldn't have been found guilty. But I just thought it was so funny. This is why when these people are in other people's pocket, they literally hold your life in their hands. They hold your career, like they can break you because they made you. And look at him. Look how quickly they got rid of them. And yeah, I never thought he was cute. There's a lot of people in Hollywood I don't think are cute, but like there's 2 of them that they keep pushing. In my face, I'm like, they are not cute. I don't think Michael B. Jordan is cute. Don't come for me. I don't think Michael B. Jordan is cute. And I think Jonathan Majors is ugly AF. That don't mean he deserves a guilty verdict though, but I'm just saying he's not cute and they needed to not do that. But moral of the story is Don't let them make you, because they will break you whenever they see fit. Even if they make you, when they give you a movie role, you still have to work your butt off on that set and off that set, because off that set you're preparing for this role. And when you get to set, you gotta show up and show out. So it's not like it's not hard work just because it's handed to you, but like imagine doing all this stuff and then just have the rug pulled out from underneath you without a warning. It's gotta suck. Anyways, next clip.
What do you think about Kanye rants?
What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. What do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, what?
Oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. What I'm saying is not correct. Then how does she end up with Pete Davidson? I don't support or villainize Kanye. I don't know why we look at a basketball player and say, he didn't score no hockey goals this whole season.
I mean, he's not wrong at all about Kanye, because it's either he has a mental illness and y'all just leave him alone, or he does not have a mental illness. Y'all hold him accountable. Because if you're saying he has a mental illness and y'all go after the guy over everything and anything that he says, it doesn't make sense for real. I agree with him on that one. He didn't lie about Kim either, because like even Pete did not stay for real. So what does that tell you about Kim? I don't know. But anyways, on to the next one.
Are you related to Luda?
No, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you.
Okay, can this really be a coinky-dinky? It might be. In the words of Kevin, might be true. Because I mean, Katt Williams don't have none of these wives. He don't have a wife, period. But if you look, like I was saying earlier, look at Kevin Hart's wife, second wife. Look at Steve Harvey's second wife. And I looked up Ludacris's wife. This is what she looks like. I mean, he could be telling the truth. Ludacris may have been chosen allegedly because he accepted the deals, the terms of that contract that Katt Williams did not want to accept. It was a very interesting interview, okay? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you have a chance, please go watch this interview. I promise you, you will not regret it. It was a really, really good interview. I know it's long, but it's worth it, I promise. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. But until then, I hope to see you in the comment section. Bye.